Today's computer problem at Cape Canaveral was distressing, perhaps, but for most Americans, not totally surprising.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the VisionCast episode, the podcast where we decode the future of business one conversation at the time, literally. And I'm your host, Divya. I'm the social media head, Visionet, and today we are having a very interesting conversation and interesting topic, which is marketing in the age of AI. We all know and we are aware of the word AI because literally AI right now is changing the DNA of marketing and how the marketing is going to change because of AI in the future. And to deep dive into this topic, we have our very own marketing maestro, Tauseef Muhammad. Welcome. And he's the
Thank you.
global marketing head, Visionet. And we're going to have a very interesting conversation and we'll get to know his perspective and his insights on the topic. So, hi, Tauseef, how are you doing?
Hi, Divya. Thank you for the introduction, and great to have on the other side of the seat to be on the podcast. So, looking forward to this interesting conversation.
Sure. So we're going to start right away, and I'm just going to bring you the interesting questions to you, and we'd love to hear what you have, your thoughts on it.
Sure.
Okay. So, first question, Tausif, like, what are the biggest shifts that you are seeing in the marketing today in respective of AI?
That's a very good question. See, one of the biggest shift in the marketing like has gone from broadcasting to narrowcasting. What that means is
Okay.
like, from mass campaign to personalized, intent-driven experience. AI has turned like, what used to be intuition into precision. We are no longer guessing what content will work. We are learning in real time. But with that power comes to need of responsibility. The other major shift is the speed. Campaign cycles that once took months are now being concepted, tested, and launched in a day. Like it's agile, it's fast, and it's relentless.
Okay. So Tausif, like bringing back to the point, like, do you really think, as we're talking about the shifts, marketeers really have to be scared at this point of the shift? And will AI take their position or the job? Because I personally feel the biggest shift on seeing on the other side is the automation and the Gen AI. Like it's going to impact majorly. So what are your thoughts on it? Like really marketeers have to be concerned at this point?
See, like how I define it that it's like AI has been around for a while. Now, that when people actually see the end users see in their hand, which is the generative AI part of it, in the form of ChatGPT and other tools, now they actually feel how that works. Uh, from a marketing perspective, again, in the when it's all started, there was a major fear of like, okay, it's gonna eliminate the job. But how
Yeah.
I see it, like, from past 12 plus months, that if you use it properly, it's not going to eliminate the job, it's going to optimize your work. Uh, and again, you cannot just, an initial, again, there were some impact in the beginning, like, okay, ChatGPT can write me my content, or it can help me, optimize something. But eventually, ChatGPT content is still a robotic content. You still need, personal. You can do
Absolutely.
help with the research. You can do, other stuff, but you cannot rely a person as a marketeer into those things. But if you are a smart marketeer, you can leverage those tools to the point that it can help you optimize your processes, get a real time insights, like I mentioned, to make your campaigns better. Otherwise, if you're gonna take this traditional old approach, then you're gonna left behind. That's where the scary part is. That's when the person who's gonna use AI versus the person who's not gonna use AI. So AI is gonna take the job if you are not using the AI properly with your marketing campaigns.
Please, sir, it's all about the balance, how you do it between
Yep.
AI and the personalization.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Great. So, coming back to our second question is what challenges do marketeers really face while adopting these tools, AI tools?
So I say that there like let me just start with a different way. That the first challenge is a mindset that I say. AI
Okay.
often seen in the beginning, like I mentioned, as a silver bullet, but it's not. It's a toolkit. Like you have
Yeah.
other marketing automations, if you can consider that way. You still need a clarity of how the strategy works, the strong data foundation, and the creative storytelling. That only human can do it. Like I say, it's a toolkit, it's not a silver bullet. The second is ethics.
Yeah.
With AI, we can hyper personalize the content, of course, but just because we can doesn't mean we should. We can do those things, but responsible data usage and transparent communication are not negotiable. And that's where that human interaction is the most one. You can ask anything, chat GPT or other tools to make your content certain way, but still you need to have certain human element which become a responsible AI. Like the second, this was like I say ethics. Lastly, there's a challenge of change management, which actually there's always I've seen resistance there as well. So the training your team, evolving workflow, and shifting KPIs to accounts for AI driven insights, it takes time, of course, but the leadership has to guide that transformation. So I'm going to repeat, the first is the mindset has to be there, the ethics, the second, which that it requires to use that this as a toolkit, and then the third is the change management, how you can make those certain changes in the campaign flow that you wanted to achieve with this responsible way of using AI.
Perfect. Uh, my coming question is very interesting, and I myself really want to know your perspective in this. Do you really think AI is a boon or a bane for the Gen Zs and the younger youth? Because now we see Gen Zs really they're really exposed to AI at a very early stage, and
Mhm.
they are the one who are ruling the corporates right now. So, what do you suggest? Like, is it really a boon or a bane for them?
That's a very interesting question, and I've been
Yeah.
seeing it that every day
Yeah.
myself. So this is what I've been noticing and reading, that for Gen Z, AI is both
Yeah.
a superpower and a paradox. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
They can see that
Okay.
that, oh, it can help everything for me, and then also a paradox. Like on one hand, they are creating. I've seen that how the Gen Z are using. They're creating smarter content, more compelling, with
Yeah.
fewer barriers, and that's amazing. How they are using this technology. In fact, I've seen this younger generation, the teens, they're using this AI technology to create those video, to create those content, and that's a one amazing part. On the other side, it's we also risking the culture where everything feels uh, sort of optimized, but nothing feel original. People are using, especially Gen Z. If you're relying more on Gen Z, more on tools like AI, then you're just less using your own creative elements to it. So you're using these tools to make the content better, but again, you're not using your own brain to make it original. That's because you're not the only one using it. There are thousand other, millions other Gen Z, they are using the same thing. So they're not originality leave in the content. There's a creativity aspect of it, but the originality is missing. So the key is the balance. Like you said, AI should amplify creativity, of course, not replace it. It's still required human element. It should elevate voices, not homogenize them. And that's where the brand mentorship and media literacy become very critical. That the Gen Z, again, if they think that is a superpower, then treat that as a superpower. So you need to learn about those things, but also use your own originality, creative ideas, to make it more original. That's how I see it, that with the younger youth and the Gen Z folks.
It's like science basically, like how we as kids used to write an essay and the output is like how you use it. So AI is basically like that, like how you use
Mhm.
it. It can be on a different side, like cybersecurity and like negative side of it. But if you see it on the positive side, yes, it's a mix of bag of moon
Yeah,
and bean basically. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
completely agree to your point.
Mhm.
Okay, coming back to the next question. Um, while we're talking about this, how do you maintain the brand authenticity while AI is doing so much of the heavy lifting right now?
Like I said, AI can help you with research. AI can help you with a lot of things. If I take this example on the Visionet, from a branding perspective, we are actually we are walking the talk. We launch certain things we are taking our entire campaign into an AI driven campaign. And what that means is that people used to do if they are using an outbound campaign from a marketing perspective, the usual suspects from a channel perspective, an outbound channel, and then from LinkedIn and Google, then you create a tells and you start bombarding with those emails. But if you're using a certain AI, what we are doing it, uh, you can get an intelligence about any given companies, that what exactly their business challenges are, what are their strategic priorities, who actually matters in the organization, taking that into account, and then creating your campaign, your messages, your outbound campaign, your Google ads or your LinkedIn ads. That also come into play a big time, which is that is there now. One of the marketing, in the marketing aspect, one of the core areas is SEO as well. Now, with this SEO, it's a major element as well. When we talked about the brand authenticity, it's always start with voice value and validation. SEO is no longer this is just a keyword that people are searching from a brand perspective. If you're just searching for a brand, uh, people are getting more immune of getting the answers in a way, not the query but the answers. They are expecting more detailed answers. So at Visionet, we use AI to enhance our storytelling, but we never that hand over the soul of the message to a machine. There's always the human loop, like I mentioned. Authenticity also means knowing when you use AI and when to pause. The human written founder's note kind of element to it. Authentic, a campaign banner's headline, AI can help, but again it cannot just make it human. So the brand should always feel familiar, not fabricated. That's the real test, and that's how you can create an element between using the tool AI as a tool, not AI as your just another marketeer.
Perfect. Perfect. So, do you believe in like AI has made marketing more human or less?
Mm, no, it's not. I don't agree on that point, and because not agree, disagree, but this is my perspective. Uh, it's a people think that in the beginning that AI can replace people. Like for example, me as an engineer, that it took when we were just studying or after that start career, it would take days, sometimes weeks to build a small code of calculator, if you're coding on C plus, or
Yeah.
if from a marketing perspective, if I wanted to run a campaign, I want to it takes months and weeks to optimize the content and write the content writer give. So that element it's can optimize and reduce. uh you can use those, ask ChatGPT to search in certain search, deep search, for example something. You can ask AI to give you a directional way of what sort of images can resonate to certain content, how my audience can consume the content and accept certain things. So those are the elements which is actually very much needed. It cannot replace a marketeer, but like I say, it optimize the marketeers. So there was a conception or perception in the beginning, okay, it will just replace the marketeer. It kind of again, like I said, it did to those who just have the resistance. It's still that again, I can see that within my own organization that uh, AI is doing a good lifting of a research, a content and stuff. But again, if we just completely relying on it, then we're gonna lose the human touch, and that's I think biggest thing that I've seen.
Yeah. So as you mentioned about Visionet, like, so how are you using AI in Visionet and we
Mhm.
as a company?
That's a good thing. So, like I say, we are walking the talk. That we actually one of the biggest thing within the AI world, we've seen that it requires an internal awareness. So we launch this AI now with charter right now for this year. What that means is that how uh, it, this AI initiative embedded with every real or every layer of our operation, from sales and marketing to delivery to internal processes. If I talk about in marketing specifically, like we are using AI to generate content draft, personalized campaign, optimize the spend, and even build AI personas for targeting engagement. One of the most exciting launches that we also have, we have for our internal audience and for also something called Spark AI, which is, again, I'm just saying it here out loud. It helped our internal team to uh, get some core knowledge base of what sort of AI is responsible in a way, and what sort of work that we have done for our customers, and how they can help them to be a better user of an AI, rather just exploring themselves. So we put the entire awareness, training, and adoption modules within the organization. That's helping them to have a better conversation when they are in front of the customers. For marketeers, is helping better for them to run the campaigns, doing the events, optimizing that what our web content, our campaigns. So we are actually taking a very big leap on how to use the AI versus the letting people just explore on themselves. So we are taking a biggest initiative this year, the name of AI now.
It's amazing to hear, like, as an internal team and for the company itself, this is the biggest initiative that not just for external clients, but internal employees are actually taking a step towards a different level, actually, altogether as an organization. So that's really amazing.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Just a couple of last questions to just go ahead with. Uh, like how AI is helping brand building and more personal relationship with the clients.
It's a very interesting question. So,
Yeah.
see, uh, last year when the AI boom started, actually Gen AI boom started, uh, every CIOs that I have met, or the executives, they have this charter to implement AI. Uh, and they have certainly not 100% idea what exactly AI can help us. Some are just start looking for the products, like, okay, let's just adopt an AI products. That also strategy kind of dismantled in a very faster period, because AI is not a one go solution, especially for the larger organization. It's a use case basis. If I want to say, okay, I'm a marketeer, I wanted to get an AI, just completely AI. So that's not the case. I need to find a certain use case. If I'm running an account-based marketing campaign, then what sort of AI that I need to implement is a use case basis. What tools that I need? So when we are talking to the customers or our prospects, we are actually talking about not, okay, we don't have a solution of AI. We actually can help you build that business narrative of okay, how you can optimize the some part of your operations efficiencies, some of your productivity, the human change element of adopting the AI. Those help the conversation. If the we anyone or ourselves can go, okay, we are the champion in AI and we can do everything in AI, and we can just make your organization AI next organization. That probably a fabricated statement anyone can do. So for us, that how AI is helping is that, like I said, that the entire campaign that we are launching to make ourselves aware of this AI, that how we can communicate with our customer in a way that they feel, yes, those are the elements, those are the areas which is low hanging fruit for us, and how AI can help us, optimize those things, and what would be a long term goal in order to optimize certain things. So those are the things is helping AI, uh, us as well, as an organization, and also for our customers, when we are talking a business outcome, rather okay, we can just transform your organization to AI. It never worked, and it will it's never gonna work in that way.
Basically, it's AI now, as we
It's AI now, yeah. So we say that adapt or become
yeah,
obsolete.
become
So
absolute. Yes.
exactly, yeah. So you gotta adapt, but in a responsible way.
Perfect. So we almost came to the end of the episode. It was amazing. Just couple of last thoughts you have, Tausif, before we sign off.
So one last thing I would say, from an AI perspective, and especially from a marketeer. So,
Yeah.
and you mentioned also, the Gen Zs and all those. Uh, I've been in marketing, for more than 2 decades, and I've seen a lot. Uh, AI adoption, AI is a very useful tool if you are adopting it very responsibly, from a social media to content creation to campaign creation to any such things in between. Use it with in a way that it's not gonna just completely take over your brain, but it can use as an assistant for you. It will optimize your processes, optimize your campaign, and it will definitely help. If you're going to rely on AI 100%, then look for a different job.
Absolutely. It was amazing, Tausif, to have a conversation with you, me, myself, of course, the audience as well, but myself to listen and get insights from you. It's my honor. And thank you, everyone else who have joined this episode. I hope you liked it. And we're going to soon see you for the next amazing episode of Vision Cast. And so stay tuned. Thank you so much, Tausif, for joining.
Thank you, Devi. I appreciate it.